Am I toxic? Are you asking yourself this question? Wondering whether or not you are problematic for the people around you? Toxic is a word that's thrown around a lot these days, but it can be tough to figure out what it truly means and whether you are actually toxic. So in this video, we're going to explore most clear signs that you are a toxic person in people's lives. But before we get stuck into those signs, let's first define what being toxic means. A toxic person is someone who makes others feel bad with actions or words. They bring others down more than up, and they leave people exhausted, emotionally drained, and negative. Obviously, there are different levels of toxicity. Some people are highly toxic, leaving everyone worse off with even brief meetings. Others cause harm over a longer period of time. Are you a toxic person? Here are signs. Your relationships never seem to last. You've never been on long-term relationships and every single friendship you have is on an as-needed basis. People feel a bad vibe after spending time with you. You could make a friend cry and all you'll probably say is "not my fault." If people have a distinct change in their body language after spending time with you, and if this happens consistently with every single person, it's safe to assume that you're being a lot less enjoyable than you think you are. Your life is like a reality show. Drama follows you wherever you go even though you insist you don't want drama in your life. At the back of your mind, you know you're causing all these little scuffles wherever you go. People always ask for more space. All the texts, calls, emails you sent left unanswered and you realize you're probably putting in more effort than you think. People have accused you of being jealous. Your friends won't often tell you that you're being toxic, but they will tell you when you're showing signs of being toxic, and one major sign is jealousy. During issues with your friends or significant others, they've called you out for your jealousy, saying that you expect too much of them and that you want all their attention on you. You're critical of others because you think you're better than them. Take a step back for a second and ask yourself, how often do you find yourself thinking something along the lines of, "This person isn't worth my time, isn't worth listening to, or isn't even worth being around because I'm better than them"? If these thoughts are familiar to you, then you might be a toxic person. You manipulate people to get your way. This is known as manipulation, and if you do it then you are definitely a toxic person. You use sly words to get things out of people without truly paying them back for it. You never apologize. You would rather destroy relationships and never see people again instead of apologizing for something that is clearly your fault, and this all falls back on your superiority complex. People lesser than you don't deserve a true apology, or so you tell yourself. You point fingers a lot. Toxic people have ego problems. You don't take responsibility for the problems and mistakes you make, because you can't stand being in the negative limelight. You make bad jokes to get a laugh. You love being the center of attention, and one thing you learned early on in life is that people like laughing at other people. You always feel like the victim. People who don't have toxic personalities don't have the same kind of issues that you may have. They don't find themselves being the butt of every joke and the victim in every situation. You badmouth other people behind their back. For you, nothing is better than a little gossip, especially if it is dirt on someone else. You enjoy controlling others. You use the technique of your choice to enslave people. If you are a jealous/suspicious controller, you go overboard, forcing the other person to prove their loyalty to you on a constant basis. You make people feel ashamed. They don't get points for past good behavior. You make them feel just as bad as if they never paid any attention to your needs or requests at all. If you display any of the toxic behaviors I've mentioned above, will you take responsibility for your actions and start treating people better? I think taking responsibility is the most powerful attribute we can possess in life. Because the reality is that you are ultimately responsible for everything that happens in your life, including for your happiness and unhappiness, successes and failures, and for the quality of your relationships with other people. Thank you for watching.